Hello Super Mobile fans, happy day to you all. We are 16k plus stronger. Thanks to everyone for subscribing, commenting, liking and sharing my videos. Remember to stay safe and wash your hands. All will be well soon. Xiaomi just launched the Redmi 9 smartphone and it is the first to officially come with Xiaomi's MiUI 12 software, which makes your smartphone much smoother and more user friendly. The Redmi 9 is a very big and reasonable upgrade from the Redmi 8, which makes it able to compete with the Redmi Note 9 and the Realme C3 depending on their gaming capabilities. For an honest comparison, I'll be comparing the 4GB RAM maximum version of the Redmi 9 with the 3GB RAM minimum version of the Redmi Note 9 and the 4GB RAM maximum version of the Realme C3 because their prices are close, with Redmi 9 selling for $160, Redmi Note 9 for $180 and Realme C3 for $140. Even though these three smartphones have different prices, they still maintain one of the best value for money gaming smartphones in the market, which can make it confusing and difficult to decide which you should buy, especially when the price difference is within $20 to $40, depending on where you are buying from. Starting with their displays, they all have the same large 6.5 inches display size. The Redmi 9 and Redmi Note 9 provides you with a better Full HD Plus 1080p display, while the Realme C3 has a lower HD Plus 720p screen resolution, but only the Note 9 has a better Gorilla Glass 5 protection, while the Redmi 9 and Realme C3 has a Gorilla Glass 3 protection. Either ways, you still have to be careful with the screen. I prefer the punch hole notch in the Note 9, but the water drop notch in the other two is still okay. According to Realme and Redmi, the C3 has the highest screen brightness level with 480 nits, followed by the Note 9 with 450 nits and the Redmi 9 with 400 nits. The Redmi 9 has a quad rear camera setup which consists of an 8MP ultra wide angle lens, a 13MP primary lens, a 2MP depth lens and a 5MP macro lens. The Realme C3 only has a triple rear camera setup, which are the 12MP main lens, the 2MP depth lens and a 2MP macro lens. Unfortunately, there is no ultra wide angle lens. Of course, the more expensive but yet affordable Redmi Note 9 gives you a better quad rear camera setup. It has a large 48MP primary lens that uses the latest Samsung GM2 48MP sensor, an 8MP ultra wide angle lens, a 2MP depth lens and a 2MP macro lens. It's obvious that Redmi Note 9 has the best camera performance and experience, but the Realme C3 and Redmi 9 are not far behind because they are both also using a high-end image signal processor. Although, based on experience, the Realme's 12MP with larger f1.8 aperture size will perform better than the Redmi's 13MP with smaller f2.2 aperture size. Well, you did not buy these smartphones for their cameras, and so it won't really matter. Anyways, the Note 9 has a better 13MP selfie camera, followed by the 8MP selfie shooter in the Redmi 9, and finally the manageable 5MP selfie camera in the Realme C3. The major reason for buying these smartphones are for their super gaming processors. The Note 9 tops with the Helio G85, next is the Redmi 9 with the Helio G80, and the Realme C3 has the Helio G70. Based on benchmarks and reviews online, these three processors are pretty similar in performance, except for the noticeable variations in their Mali G52 GPU clock speeds. The Helio G85, G80 and G70 have clock speeds of 1000, 950 and 820 MHz respectively. Higher clock speeds means higher frame rates and smoother gameplay, but you may not notice their differences except you are a game expert. Also, the lower HD Plus resolution in the Realme C3 might make it handle games better since it is not driving too much pixels. Overall, they are all good gaming smartphones, but I would still advise you to pick the better Helio G85 processor if you have the money. They all have a large 5000 mAh battery capacity, but only the Redmi smartphones have an 18W faster charging support with a more efficient USB Type-C port. The Realme C3 settles for the standard 10W with the outdated micro USB port. Looking at all scenarios, the Realme C3 will provide a longer battery performance because of its lower HD Plus resolution and slightly lower G70 processing power. But the Redmi 9 and Note 9 will provide a better battery experience because you can quickly juice up the battery in no time. It is a win-win situation for both smartphones, but I prefer the Redmi smartphones. They all have interesting colors and design, but I prefer the Redmi Note 9 because of its square-shaped quad camera setup, followed by the Redmi 9, which has the K30 design language. The Realme C3 is also cool with its sunrise design. Let me know your opinions on their designs. The Redmi 9 users will be the first to officially experience the stable version of the latest MiUI 12 software, but I hope that Xiaomi upgrades the Redmi Note 9 to the MiUI 12 version because it brings lots of improvements and customizations for better user experience. The Realme UI 1.0 is also good, but still needs more work because it's still a bit more heavy and laggy UI than the MiUI. All three smartphones have similarities like Android 10 software with support for dark mode, triple card slot, 4G LTE, Bluetooth 5.0, OTG support, fingerprint, face unlock and weight size. You also get NFC in the Redmi smartphones. I decided to do this specifications comparison because all three smartphones were made for gamers and they all have good value for money. Are you going to spend the extra $20 for the Redmi 9 or extra $40 for the Redmi Note 9, or are you going to settle for the cheapest Realme C3? Kindly let me know your opinion on all three smartphones in the comment section below. I will surely go for the Redmi 9 because it strikes a better balance between benefits and cost. The channel sponsor Banggood is also doing a promotion sale where you can buy any of these three smartphones at the best price. You can even get the Redmi Note 9 for the same price as the Redmi 9. Simply just click on the links below to get yours. Kindly note that due to this pandemic situation, Banggood may not be shipping to your country yet, but as soon as the situation gets better, they will ship internationally to you. Thanks so much for watching. Kindly subscribe and turn post notification on to be the first to see the next video. Talk to you in my next video. Remain humble, stay safe, bye.